We're back!
We're back. I wish we weren't this time.
This is the sleepiest I've ever felt going into a video, and we have filmed at like 1 in the morning before.
It's not even 9.
It's not even 9.
It's called getting old, dude.
No, it's called, I just watched the film equivalent of melatonin. A while ago, we had a series on our show, Spooky of the Week, where we watched 4 found footage films. And one of the found footage films that we watched was a little film called The Christmas Tapes. Cut to our reaction.
There's nothing done well, in my opinion. I think it's all broken garbage. Nobody on set knew how movies were actually supposed to be made, and that's why it's so terrible.
That following Christmas, we played a game where we all got each other the worst possible movies, so we thought it would be funny if we got Sam Slade the gift of the same filmmaker's first film, Infrared, which we also didn't like very much. Cut to clip.
I thought somehow they put even less thought into this movie than Christmas Tapes. I thought the Christmas Tapes was the bottom of the barrel, no thought I'd always put into making that one, and somehow they put in even less thought for this one.
I was very upset both times.
But something interesting happened in the middle of all of that, which is that the filmmakers behind those 2 movies actually commented on our video saying that they liked the video. They're probably lying and being nice.
Who would like the video? It wasn't funny and it was mean.
And we were very mean. But I have to admit, I really respected the sentiment. Like there's a lot of balls coming up to a bunch of goofballs like us.
It's not even just like reviewed your movie negatively, called you buffoons, I called them buffoons, and that they made a found footage movie because they don't know how to make an actual movie. I still believe this, of course.
After all these things, they still like went on and said nothing but nice things to us.
In good spirits.
In good spirits, and had a really good sense of humor about that. So, you know, I've gained a decent amount of respect for these fellows. So we knew already that the next time that they made a movie, we were going to be checking it out.
Oh yeah.
We didn't have to do that because we got an email from them a couple weeks ago saying that we could see their new film before everybody.
Before everyone.
So we actually got an early screening for for Conjuring tapes, and we watched it, and we're going to be reviewing it now.
If you could be jealous over that, you would, but no one's going to be jealous that we saw that early.
Kevin, you're the actor. Can you say everything that I just said, but sound excited about it? Like I just.
For a lot of our reviews, especially in the early days, we said this a lot. We would tell you that Uncle Mikki hooked us up with an early screener, and we have lied to you. Those were not true.
Wow, this is real stuff that Kevin's dropping right now.
We've never gotten an early screener. We have seen a film usually a couple weeks after it came out in theaters.
At the earliest.
At the earliest. And then we release a video about 2 years later.
Because we're all busy and we also weren't sure if we wanted to see it.
And we wanted to sound cool, like we're
We
real
wanted to
reviewers.
wait to see what everybody else said about it.
So that way we could inform our opinions.
Yeah.
No, what?
Yeah. This movie, Conjuring Tapes, is the first film where the filmmakers actually sent us.
Entrusted us
With an early screener of the movie, which is kind of blowing my mind. Like when I first heard it, I was like, I cannot believe this is happening.
I have nothing but respect for Rob and Randy. They are seemingly good guys, and
and they're just making movies on their own.
I love the sense of humor that they're able to have. This is the exact same sense of humor that we would have about people talking negatively about our movies. We have had nothing but kind things to say about all the people that shit on our movie.
I don't care if anybody hates or loves any of our stuff.
To us, it was a big moment of like game recognized game. Like they were able to just come in, be like, yeah, you guys shit on all over it. It was awesome. Here's our next movie to shit all over.
You spent a lot of time editing and making this video, I'm sure, so that's lame.
Yeah. Yeah, he did specifically make fun of how much time we spent on the movie. Conjuring Tapes was the film that was directed by Randy and Rob. Randy Newhall Jr.
The third movie in the tapes.
In the tape saga.
The loosely connected tapes.
The first 2 movies both featured Greg Sestero as a kind of glue character. This movie also features Greg Sestero.
This movie also features, all 3 of these ones feature dog shit found footage. Hated the first 2 movies. just to harken back though, there was improvement from infrared to Christmas tapes.
Very
I
clearly.
do believe there's improvement here too in some regards.
In a lot of regards, there's improvement. Yeah.
In some regards, dude. That is the best I can do right now, all right? In some regards. I still hate found footage movies. There's never going to be a movie that's going to change me on that. I just think there's too many horrible ones to like justify the genre being good in any way.
I think you would have to watch 2,000 amazing found footage movies.
At this point, yes. To counterbalance the filth I've seen, yes. I would need to see 2,000 A+ 10 out of 10 found footage movies that changed my life. Each of them changed my life.
If they made a found footage film that was as good as like Citizen Kane or Rashomon, like let's say back to back, Citizen Kane equivalent,
he would need
and
several
then
of those.
Rashomon
I would
equivalent.
need 2,000
It
to
would
3,000 of those.
still be a dog shit genre in Sam Slade's eyes.
Yes, really bad. So I mean, take that with whatever I say in this review. Like,
It's not your
it
thing.
should inform your like opinion of my opinion, I guess. So going
Sam
into
Slade
this,
has watched all of these films against his will.
I always like any sort of like small team or like just independent filmmakers like making more and more content, seeing how they improve. That's always interesting to me, whether I like the movie or not.
Impressed that they were like, oh yeah, you guys want to see another one?
Yeah.
Like they had the balls to be like, you hated the last two.
Well, boom. Alec mentioned to me, oh yeah, Doug Walker's in it, and I was like, I didn't know that. I didn't know that at all. Oh, we're gonna watch the Nostalgia tapes.
And Nostalgia Critic,
He's in the movie.
is eventually there, yeah.
He appears in the movie, so we don't have to.
Kevin has been
Kevin's
making
been
that
sitting. Kevin has workshopped a couple different
one. He
versions
probably
of
thought
that
of that
show.
before we ever watched it too.
Yeah,
I got a couple more written down. Even though we didn't like the first two movies, well, there was a noticeable progression between them because we saw them out of order. We saw Christmas tapes, and then we're like, let's see them forever. Like, oh, somehow it's even worse. I'm like, well, I guess then if you watched it the way they were released, it actually is a pretty massive improvement.
Massive being this big, but yes.
But I mean, if you see infrared,
To some people, this amount of material is massive. So I just want to make sure
it
that
is massive.
it can make a big difference.
This is massive.
This is massive.
Let's be clear here.
I just want to be clear that this is massive.
but I was anticipating a similar boost in quality. This is the first one they've made since watching our videos. You know,
Which they should learn a lot from these educational
I mean,
videos, yeah.
for, as mean as we are, we do give a lot of very specific examples of, oh, this can be improved by doing this. This can be improved
Try
by
to be
doing this.
constructive, yeah.
That's also not just because there is improvement. It's not because they took our advice.
Not necessarily.
Well, but it is also.
they have commented directly on our
anything
video.
good
and
was
said
because-
Anything good is stuff we specifically told them to do.
Yeah,
I'm
and that's
pretty sure.
why it's good. Yeah,
Yeah, it's because we told them. So I was really excited. I was like, I hope they do something wild. I hope that Doug Walker's in like every scene. I hope they just commit to doing something like that.
That'd be hilarious.
And yeah, so how did they do?
They shit the bed again.
I think they did a much stronger movie this time than the Christmas tapes.
I think they had a lot. They improved in a lot of aspects, and then in a lot of aspects, it's just still. It's very hard to watch.
There is still room for significant improvement. These two girls, their friend committed suicide and was going kind of crazy beforehand, and they find a bunch of VHS tapes in her stuff. And so they start playing it, and then the one video, they see one of the two friends, and the friend's like, I don't remember this ever happening. I don't know who these people are. Why am I in this tape? What's happening? And so they start watching through them, and it's a sequence of spooky things.
A lot of mystery and intrigue there.
Good premise, I actually think, like it's a horror premise.
Yeah.
I can see that working out really well.
And, and it's nice if you can get some good actors and you can just recycle them, and it's like it doesn't
Like
matter.
imagine if you were watching something and you saw yourself. Like that would be the creepiest thing ever. Like wait, I have never done that. I've never met that person in my entire life. How am I
but
in
it's
this video?
very clearly you.
Yeah.
Well, we did a bit like that, close to that, in a really terrible short we made called Gotlos, where one of the characters watches the creature walk into his own house.
Yes. I think the pitfall that both our short film that we made and also this movie fall into is that it's a idea that I think works really well in written word. But I think it's something that is complicated to translate into a movie, because something that scares you conceptually is often completely different than what scares you viscerally, and movies are more visceral in nature. You're scared by noises, moments, and like visuals, whereas like in the written word,
I see what you're saying. It's hard to get something that scares you conceptually.
like Lovecraft can be really scary when you're reading it. Like conceptually, there are things
'cause
that
it's
can
you in
frighten
your own
you.
head, yeah.
But if you were to watch the scene play out literally, it wouldn't be scary at all.
Something
That's
that is
kind
a
of
major
plot.
problem with like actually making that concept work is that they watch the whole first tape and then have their reactions.
Yeah, no, you should have reacted to me and be like, hey, that's me, what's going
because
on?
It just doesn't feel natural. Like, just subconsciously, it doesn't feel natural. That's like, now that the tape's over, they go, wait a minute, that was me.
Yeah, they needed a moment where the first time she shows up, the main girl, like, they stop it and don't watch it for another, like, 2 minutes, where the main girl's just, like,
What
freaking
the
out, like,
heck?
how the fuck? Because that's how I would react. I'm like, how the fuck am I? What
There's
are you
a brief thing
What do
while
you
they're
mean you
watching it.
found this footage? Like, what are you talking about? You found this tape?
There's a brief part while they're watching it at the beginning where she's just like, stop messing around, and then that's it. It just cuts.
The reaction should be big. Like in Lake Mungo, the girl sees her doppelganger and then fucking dies. You know?
It's a big fucking deal.
It's a big fucking deal. And I'm like, I
Or it's
want.
the whole plot of Enemy.
Or yeah, Enemy is another great example where I'm like, it should be really unsettling that you're seeing yourself. I would be freaked the fuck out.
Especially if it's in a box of tapes from your dead sister. What was it? Sister?
Roommate?
With that being said, you know, so plot overview. I will say visually, the movie starts off very strong.
From the first shot, we were like, oh,
This is a jump up. The lighting is really good.
it's a movie.
The like cameras in focus. Everything looks very crisp and clean. Like that was a pretty big jump up for me. Where I was like, okay, wow, they're taking this seriously. It's not found footage for this part, which I think helps me a lot because I'm like, okay, we're serious filmmaking now. It's not just all found footage stuff.
That was good. It did go on way too long at the
Well,
start.
that's the entire film.
I thought it was going on way too long until I saw the rest of the film. Then I realized, oh, please, let me go back to that beginning when it was nice and short and sweet.
What I think is the biggest problem with the movie overall, which is pacing, is
And editing.
mostly a segment of how many shorts? There's the
There's 4.
Like, I think there's
because
65.
there's Ouija, then they follow it up with Possession.
And then there's the one with the lady she talks to
the psychologist
demon
one, which
psychologist one.
I'm blanking on the name of that one.
Oh my ass.
I think it was called.
Kevin did that with the most serious face I've ever seen.
Did I pronounce that right?
And then there was SRO.
everything takes too long.
Yes.
You're doled out so little information over such a long time.
It's like if someone was just like, hey, listen to my new song I made, and then it's just 5 minutes of them hitting the E key on a piano, and it's like, are we changing? Are we gonna hit a different key on the piano? No, no, this is...
Wait for the new key, wait.
2 minutes,
And then
3 minutes, and then ding,
G,
ding,
yeah.
ding, ding. And you're like, oh, you could have just went.
you could have gone to G a long
Dun,
time ago. Yeah, it could
Yeah.
have just been da da, but no, it was da 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 that for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's the whole movie.
It's not just like the wraparound's really long. Every single short runs on too long. Every scene kind of can be condensed down.
They have like their plot, but then they have like a need to fill in like extra explanation for no reason. Like,
Yeah.
There's the part where the lady pulls the gun on them and there's the demon possessed guy and the guy's got the camera pointed at him and they're sitting there and he's like, oh, I'm getting out of here. Screw this. And then he's like, don't you remember you have to do this for money? And because you have whatever. I don't remember what his
Every
problem was.
character
Like, he
has to have
owes-
a backstory. It's thinking that character comes from backstory. A lot of people struggle with this when writing, where it's like, how do we come up with the character? Well, the character is their backstory. So if they have a backstory, ooh, we have a character.
I was in a car accident with my best friend, Becca. She died.
Oh. I mean, they're your high school friends. You guys spend half the time reminiscing about stuff that I wasn't there for. So.
I had to borrow this camera from my uncle, who I owe money to. You better pay me. You're cheap as hell, but I need the money. So I'm here to help you chase ghosts.
You need the money. We have to ride this out.
We decided these cases weren't good for you. We can't have a repeat of last time.
Come up with an interesting character with motivations, and then, you know, give them a backstory.
Their
Guess what?
backstory should
The
be natural
audience
to that.
doesn't need to know the
Yes.
backstory. The audience doesn't care what the backstory is. The backstory you should know, the character should know, but it never needs to come out. It could come out of little ways, little decisions the characters. You don't need to explain it.
If the character's strong enough, the audience isn't going to question why they're doing things.
You have done this well already. You did it once. Paranormal Perry was great.
Yeah, we didn't need Paranormal Perry to come in and say that he's doing this because he's got a sick kid at home.
Even though he kind of did do that at one point. Well, not that, but like I think he had an explanation moment. This is a new movie that just dropped really recently. I do want to do like spoiler-free, just space eggs. So Sam Slade, basic spoiler-free thoughts. Keegan already gave his. It was that sneeze.
So spoiler-free thought to close out the spoiler-free section of this review, the first minute. I would say if you're anything like me or have taste, don't watch this. Because
Not exclusively. Like it's one of the, it could be one of.
if
the
you have
other.
opinions adjacent to me at all, even like remotely, or have taste, don't watch it. It is really bad. Even though there is some slight improvements, and I'm proud of them for the slight improvements that they've made, I think just it's so boring, so horribly edited, so horribly paced. If you really like found footage, maybe you want to check it out. It probably will frustrate you because there's a lot of points that drag in a really frustrating and annoying way. Not in a way that's like, oh, it's a little slow pace, it's like a slow burn. It's just kind of like, wow, you're wasting my time. Get on with it. Get on with it.
Space eggs.
0, obviously.
Wow.
I also don't have any eggs left, so that's not even on you.
To clarify, Sam
It's
Slade
not
gave
personal.
away all of his eggs already for this year. That is the highest score he could give you.
I have not acquired more eggs. I may acquire more eggs later, but
You won't. Not
I wouldn't have given you any eggs regardless, but like I had no choice.
So if you like found footage movies, you're gonna like this. It doesn't matter about the wasting time.
Yeah.
Because you like found footage.
Every single found footage movie is a waste of time. So I guess if you like found footage movies,
Then you must like waste of time.
If you like found footage, give it a shot. The first 2 segments are fairly well done. Last 2 segments are not as good. The movie is much better than Christmas Tapes, in my opinion. They definitely have learned a lot of lessons. On the technical side, it's produced a lot better. There's still a lot of pacing issues. There's a lot of structural issues in terms of there's no real through line for the shorts.
Space eggs.
7 out of 12?
Well, I didn't enjoy it. If you guys make another one, my biggest takeaways for you guys are pacing and character.
Character is not backstory.
Character is not backstory. Character is character and pacing, because your production value is going up. But now that we're stripping a lot of those technical things away, it's like, okay, I'm seeing what the heart of the issue is, and it's pacing and character.
Space eggs.
Space eggs.
You just said you didn't enjoy it.
Yeah, you didn't.
Well, I didn't. Did I give space eggs to the last 2? Did we do that for those videos?
Well, for Spooky
No,
no.
Spooky of the Week we
No,
did.
we
So
didn't.
you've never given them eggs.
And then I don't think we gave eggs for Christmas Cole either.
Well, I think if I were to have given...
Oh, so you're giving retroactive eggs?
yeah, I mean, like theoretically, like
Yeah,
since
yeah, 'cause
I
they've
did...
never experienced it.
Right. Christmas Tapes, I probably would have given it an 8 out of 10. Not bad.
That's pretty high.
I mean, Greg Sestero, he's in it.
he's in it for a lot.
He's in it for a lot, he's funny,
Well,
he's got a gun.
but less than he should be.
And Infrared,
We liked less.
a lot less.
Yeah, we retroactively liked Christmas Tapes a lot more after seeing Infrared.
It's true. Yeah, so I'd give that an 8 out of 10 also.
Same score,
Yeah, so, I mean, it's similar but different. Worse,
but better.
but better.
What about this one?
So what about this one? This is where the eggs matter
A big step forward also,
in many areas.
in many areas, which is why I'm also giving it an 8 out of 10.
That's fair. I think that's a fair and balanced score that you just gave it.
I mean, I didn't like it, but
Yeah, me neither.
I want to say their rate of improvement, we're 2 movies away from them making something that's really great.
I'd say we're about 65 movies away before they make something great.
it's way more.
No, dude, they're gonna fix it. They're gonna
At
fix it.
this
Give it to
rate?
me.
Maybe 2 more for you.
Yeah.
Found footage fans have a much lower bar of suspension of disbelief. Like they're just like, yeah, we're just gonna buy all this. That you're along for the ride. You are holding out on all this stupid bullshit because there's gonna be a spooky ghoul at the end, and you like the shaky camera. Like that's a lot of it. And I've come to.
It's like if a movie was real. It's like if a movie was real. That's what they are, dude. That's what found footage fans are. I like this. It's like if I was watching a real horror movie, but it was real.
I've come to accept that, not respect it. I think that me and found footage fans we're on different levels of reality. Like I see where you guys are. You're down there. You're in this little crevice. You're in this little this little canyon. Sometimes I think about throwing rocks down there, but you know what? I'm like, you guys are happy down
I'm
there.
always throwing rocks. I've come to understand it, but reject it. Similar to what you said, but not.
Yeah, with this movie, I actually feel like I disagree a little bit. I think I actually prefer the Christmas tapes, if only that I remember.
Those rose-colored glasses, dude.
I like
to laugh
Paranormal
'cause
Perry.
I suffer.
I like Paranormal Perry. There's genuine things I'm like, oh yeah, Paranormal Perry's a great character. That whole end sequence I remember enjoying a lot of elements of. Well, I don't remember the rest of it, but I do remember Paranormal Perry.
He's only half of that last short. The first half of it is the couple being like,
Well,
"Oh
they
my gosh,
explain
our
the
stuff
backstory.
is
Yeah.
gone." They have a whole, there's a demon. There is a demon in our house. I just realized this 5 seconds ago.
Oh my
Yeah, there's a
gosh.
whole 20-minute backstory section.
Again, they keep doing it.
I really do like Rob and Randy. I think that they're good
They
guys.
seem like cool guys.
But eggs are pure. I can't give you guys eggs just because I like you. It's based on the
You
movie.
can, but you can't.
I have in the past.
You have in the past, and it's totally within the bounds of eggs.
There are no rules to eggs.
There are no rules, so I don't know why you're saying you can't.
The structural issue, and we haven't really talked about this either, but like the fact that like it's all downhill from the first two.
Yeah, it does not
really
it
hurts
never
the movie.
jumps up. It just
is
all the way down.
you're down until you hit the wall, and that really negatively hurts the movie, and we'll talk about that more in the spoiler talk. As far as the spoiler-free section goes, I found myself really not enjoying this movie. I'd love to continue this friendship, but I'm gonna have to give you guys a 0. 12 eggs.
I thought for sure he was gonna be like 12 out of 12, baby.
I
gonna
was
scream
thinking
at him,
I
shake
was
my fist
I was
like,
thinking
"Oh my
about it. I don't. If it was the Christmas tapes, I might have done that. I don't have that in my heart.
He couldn't even do it.
I couldn't
He
even
couldn't
do the
even
bit.
bring himself to do
No,
it.
I could not. No, not this one. No, you can't.
And this guy breaks all the rules.
You can't. I break rules when my heart is in it, dude. I like my heart's not in this one. I follow. You know what my one rule is? You know what the one rule I follow?
Eggs with your heart, dude.
It's that I follow my goddamn heart, dude. And my heart
Me too.
says that you guys don't serve eggs this time. I'm sorry.
He wanted to give you eggs.
I wanted to.
I didn't. I was never going to. But he wanted to give you as many eggs as he could, but he couldn't.
So yeah, that was it for our spoiler-free talk. I
So
do recommend that
8
you
eggs,
guys.
7. That's a positive score.
That's 15 out of what? What's 12 times?
48.
48. Well,
Or
minus
no,
2, 46.
Yeah, no, 40.
Because it's
46,
12, 12, 12, 10. Yeah,
Well, who cares what
That's a
it's out
negative
of?
score.
It's a positive score.
it's 46.
It's positive.
It is a negative score. Well, it is over 0.
It's over 0, so it's a positive score.
That's a positive score.
So go see Conjuring.
I do recommend, spoiler-free, I do recommend you guys check it out. This is still an independent film made by
Yeah, just
Scrappy.
go support him. Why
Yeah.
not? It's
They're-
a cool experience.
They're good guys,
Regardless whether it's good or
and they're obviously out here trying. And on top of that, they know Greg Sestero, and I'd love to meet him. So that was it for our spoiler-free section. Now we'll do our spoiler-filled review.
There's a lot of explanation moments that are just like, they go nowhere and they don't actually help anything. They just slow everything down.
And every character has that, where it's like a character will talk about they're dead. God, in the therapy one, it's so bad. She talks about having. For 5 minutes she talks to her boyfriend or whatever, and it's like this is
Ex-husband.
so fucking cuttable.
and it's
and
just
then she
so
also has
horrible to look at.
She also has a dead son. And I'm like, I think I get big picture what they're doing, which is that like there's a story interwoven with like there's the one character, and every time we see her, she has a slightly different backstory, and like maybe one of those is close to the truth, and like each one's a little different, but there's probably nuggets of truth to each one.
Well, we don't know because we never see the reactions to any of the shorts.
Yeah.
Not until it's over. And then they go,
So
let's put in another one.
I kind of
Was
get
that
it,
me?
but the result is that every single short you're hearing backstory. It's like the first 5 minutes of every short is characters just sitting and explaining their backstory.
A lot of the ideas in these stories are not bad. It's just come up with more organic ways to start them and deliver them. Psychologist one isn't like bad on paper. It's like there's kind of interesting like, and it's been done in other movies. There's kind of interesting concepts in there. But like the first like what feels like 5 minutes is just camera footage from the corner, camera footage from the laptop, back and forth of a really boring dialogue and a really boring backstory that just leaves you like, okay, I just don't even care about this character anymore because it's so boring.
Like, I think there actually is a really, really interesting idea in the psychologist one of the psychologist has this disturbed patient who believes he can talk to dead people. And then she finds out he can talk to dead people.
You are describing the film The Exorcist 3.
That's the other thing. It is pretty much just The Exorcist.
I've never seen The Exorcist 3. I don't care. So he finds out that like this disturbed patient can actually talk to the dead, and so she is obsessed now that she knows that to find out what happened to her dead son.
Yeah.
And she's like abusing and torturing this person.
Yeah.
To get the connection with her dead son.
And then she murders him with her bare hands at the end? Oh, God.
Yeah, what was that?
Ending's
It's
really
because they were
bad.
just like, how do we end it? Let's have her bite his freaking eye out.
Yeah, that was
She
weird.
uses her thumbs.
I do want to give some praise.
Let's talk about the first one.
The first two, I think, were relatively strong.
Yeah.
The second one had some funny jokes.
Had a
We were
couple-
laughing.
They had a couple kind of funny
Cut to him
moments.
laughing.
You know what? I gotta shit.
Kevin and I both laughed.
You guys were
independently.
laughing at-
Let's talk about the first one.
First
Ouija.
one, there's too much backstory, there's too much fluff, there's too much like boring crap that should be cut. But then it kind of like, when it actually gets found footage scary stuff, it's like kind of well done. It even got a jump scare out of Kevin.
You can
It's
cut
on
to
ca-
it.
Real jump scare from Kevin.
that
How
got
did
me.
you do that? Is that what he said?
Yeah.
So much of that beginning can be cut. The
Ultimately,
party.
it's nothing happens and a monster gets him.
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah, that's everything.
That's everything.
That's
Yeah.
everything.
When the monster hits them, it's decent.
It's decent.
Yeah.
I hated all the improv. I thought the actors were not very good.
I
The
will agree
actors
with that.
struggled a little bit.
It was
the camera.
unclear to me what exactly was happening at the beginning at first. Like they're over at the house and they're like, oh, we're doing a seance and filming it.
Yeah, they were making a scary movie.
I figured it out because they're like, oh, in high school we did this. Let's do it again.
Yeah.
It's the 10-year anniversary or whatever. I wish, you know.
Wish it was more clear.
Or if we could even see that first one, like it starts with that, and then boom, now it's X amount of years later. You're like, oh, that's kind of cool. They're never going to
also-
recreate. But they
Yeah,
just are just talking
Yeah,
about
if they-
it.
if they
Remember
had
when we
footage
did
of
this
teenagers.
tape?
Yeah.
Let's recreate it. I was like, I didn't see the old one, so I don't know what you're
Yeah,
recreating.
if they had it them as teenagers, then them as adults.
And then the second one, I think that kind of vibing off of the same energy that Paranormal Perry was doing in the Christmas tapes. We have a paranormal investigator. The guy did a pretty good job. I think he's one of my favorite actors in the entire movie.
Yeah, GoPro Jesus.
The premise was funny, and they have a really funny
That's a funny little rig.
visual gag.
Their
the-
rig is so long, like it's so silly looking how far out this GoPro's going. It's plagued by a lot of the same problems that we've been talking about. But on top of that, it just escalates to 10 out of nowhere and like really confusingly.
Does that seem like something you can handle, Dave?
A really unnatural way, and the characters don't act natural to the escalation.
Yeah,
No,
the
not at
girl
all.
pulls out a shotgun.
She should not have pulled out a shotgun. in
I
that
agree.
scene. That just like didn't make sense to me.
and she's pointing it at them, and she's like, "You're gonna help me with my demon girlfriend, right?" And he's like, "Yeah."
It would have made more sense if later on she pulls out the shotgun when she thinks like they're like, nah, this woman needs psychological help. We need to
Yeah.
leave.
I think they thought that was that moment, but for the audience, it's not. For the audience, it's
so-
kind of like
it's the
there's,
days-
not really a real reason for them to leave yet.
Like, blah, she's
'Cause they
scary.
are-
She might actually be possessed. Gun.
Because they're there to investigate something paranormal. Like them seeing something paranormal is what they're looking for. She's
Why
just
is she
no, this
pointing it at
real.
them?
Pointing
Okay.
at them because she thinks they're gonna leave, but the audience doesn't get that.
It should have escalated at first with them going, why are the doors locked? And she's like, oh, that way the demon possessed girl can't get out. And it's like, well, we can't get out either. And so she's like, yeah, that's fine. You're an expert. You can combat the evil spirit.
The therapy short we've already talked about. We should talk about the biggest short.
SRO.
This one has the most frustrating.
We
problems.
say the biggest, and we mean literally.
It's like-
It is like an hour and a half long.
It's almost half the movie.
It started off
It's
kind of strong.
third.
I liked the commercial.
I like the commercial.
For the cult.
Good tone setter.
Then it nosedives. We get a Zoom call cameo from Doug Walker and Greg Sestero.
Yeah.
That was really disappointing.
Well, it's just the audience gets it, and then you dole out the same information, like we said, for like what feels like 10 minutes
Yeah.
of them being like, these guys are crazy.
Can you
these
believe
guys
this
are
cult
crazy.
is-
These guys are crazy.
exercising demon-
These guys are crazy.
demon
These guys are
penis.
And it's like, main character, these guys are crazy. And then
Yeah.
and then she's like, I'm gonna go, they're inviting me over to investigate them and like talk about them and clear some things.
Well, the issue I have with it is you have this collage of other people saying it. The main girl doesn't really say anything.
Yeah. The main girl gets
it-
cut off. It
if
should
it-
have just cut to her.
If she was the big critic who's been gathering a big YouTube follower, doing it of just pooping on this cult, and then the cult invites her because she is the big detractor.
Yeah. This is kind of a dumb thing to be annoyed by, but I'm gonna say it anyway just because they are the two like top billed actors. Greg Sestero and Doug Walker are literally like less than 30-second long cameos. Greg Sestero is literally at the gym with sunglasses on.
He's at Planet Fitness.
He's at Planet Fitness.
Recording himself on his phone.
On his AirPods, and he's just like, yeah, man, there's ghosts or whatever. Is it cults like doing exorcism? That's fucking wild, dude.
I know you like all these cameos. I'm sure those other people were cameos too. And I'm sure you like all that and you kept in a bunch of it. That should have been no longer than maybe 20 seconds.
I was really disappointed. As a fan of this franchise, I was disappointed that Greg Sestero didn't return as his character.
Yeah, that is a shame.
That was a shame.
In just one of the segments. It didn't even have to be all of them.
Yeah.
If he just
if he's
in
gonna
one.
show up, this is part of the Tapes franchise. He should be playing the same.
As not a fan of this franchise, I didn't care at all.
The general premise of SRO, it is the long and short. A YouTuber is interviewing a girl whose brother has joined the cult and is afraid that her brother is being cut off from the outside world. The cult has reached out to the YouTuber, said, hey, we will invite you to come to our compound and see what's going on. So you can see that we're not really a cult, we're just a religious group. And they go there, and they
and midway through the interview, the YouTuber's like, oh, we're going to this cult compound. Your brother's kidnapped there. You should come with us.
Yes.
And yeah, she's like, and she's like hesitant, but she's like, you know what? Yeah, I will come. I know you guys were gonna go anyway, but I'll come with you.
Yeah.
They actually invited us to go over.
That's very important.
That's very.
You guys were going to go anyway.
Yes.
But I'll come with you.
I'll come with you
because I want to see my brother.
Yeah. There's a very long scene in the car.
And then
you're gonna do audio. So the on button is right here, and
it's really simple.
Record is underneath it. And then we have to wait for it to be on.
And fun fact, if you watch this movie, you actually also are now certified to be a boom operator.
I've made it as simple as possible. I've tied a little F3 mixer to a boom pole. All you have to do is hit record and hold it.
And then the cult people just start being like comically sketchy the moment they meet them.
Like,
they show up and the guy's...
He has his hand on
the entire time. The entire time.
And then they have that goofy scene. He does that and he's like, we're gonna cover you. You're gonna blindfold and you can't bring your phones.
God, there's another...
We're gonna take your phones.
We're gonna record you.
They
wanted to record
He's like, no phones. We're gonna take your phones.
They want to prove that they're not a cult.
Even more sketchy. He's holding a gun. They get out of the car and the guy who's supposed to like be like their front man, like, hey, come with us. We're gonna do this cool thing. This lady who looks like Jamie Lee Curtis.
He's also super sketchy.
But he's just holding a gun.
Everyone's holding guns. Yeah.
And they're like, "What's with the guns?" And they're just like, "We're here to protect ourselves."
People want to.
They should have been more subtle. Something I said while we were watching it. It should have just been one guy on the roof or something with a gun, where it's kind of like, all right, this is still kind of weird, but like they could just be extra protective. They've got guards. Not every person we're interacting with has a gun. That is more than just.
Also, that never pays off.
It doesn't.
Them all having guns never pays off.
It's supposed to be tension, dude. It's supposed to be intense because they're like, oh, this is dangerous.
Then they have a really long scene in a barn where Jamie Lee Curtis talks about religious freedom, and then there's a plot twist.
Yeah, that goes.
Well, yeah,
on.
They were like,
that goes on for about 15
they're
minutes.
like, have you seen Midsummer? No. Action.
Untrue things are being said about us when all we are here to do is share God's word and do his work.
And then they rolled cameras for this poor woman who probably had no script.
She actually did a good job. I thought her performance was pretty
they've
decent.
kept literally every single word and syllable she said in the scene.
What it means to have a common goal in saving those that we love from sin.
And the scene is
every
like
take.
15 minutes long.
I think those are all different takes. And they just had them back to back.
I was getting so pissed every time they cut to that stupid
overhead shot.
Overhead shot from the security cam. I was like, why are you cutting to that? What is the narrative purpose of cutting to that? I know you have multiple angles. You've already shown the multiple angles. This angle is not narratively serving any purpose. One of the improvements that I saw right away was they had a couple jump cuts in the first one where I was like, oh, that's actually a good jump cut because it's clear that
time has passed.
The first short.
The first short.
Yeah. The first couple honestly had some good ones.
This is clearly a time jump, not just the next line.
Yeah.
But that last one has jump cuts where it's just line.
Is what I protect.
When can we talk to Sharon?
Yeah. Line, it's like the natural next line that the person would have. There's a jump cut.
I think we should go here. Cut. Okay.
Yeah, stuff like that.
It's like what? which we told you about.
Get more fur on him.
It's clearly bad when you watch it in a movie, when you see a jump cut that just is intercutting the actual dialogue with jump cuts, just doesn't feel right when you watch it.
We complained a lot about this in the Milk and Cereal video.
And we even said in the video, you think you specifically pointed out, like, just have 2 cameras if you need to. And they do that in that last short.
We even said, I don't want to take too much credit for it, but we said in, I think the infrared video, which is like, oh, they wrote in that there's only 1 camera person, but that's a choice you're making. Write in that there's another camera person, like, or just don't call attention to it. Like The Office, if you ever watch an episode of The Office, they don't tell you how many camera people there are. No. And they don't think about it. In fact, most of the angles don't fucking make sense. And guess what? You don't think about it.
And when there is only 1 cameraman, it's very clear because it's just one long, just through the window or whatever, watching Michael do something embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's just an uninterrupted take.
And there are some instances where the camera person really does matter, but like for this, you didn't need to call attention to it. These are like, especially for the YouTuber, just say they have a small crew. They have a couple people with them.
Yeah. Well,
they have 2 camera people.
But like also there is multiple cameras in those scenes.
Yeah.
That still have some jump cuts that are lame.
The beginning thing with the SRO cult, it's all clean. It's very Scientology. It's very like kind of upper scale.
Upper scale, well produced. Upper scale culty.
And then when you get there, their compound is a barn.
Yeah.
It's just a farm
rundown barn, and they got a cave, and it's like...
The cave's great. The cave's great.
No. Don't talk shit on the cave.
The cave was badass, dude. That was a sick-ass
I don't
cave.
mind that there's a cave. My problem is there's a barn.
Yeah.
If they had like a compound.
Yeah.
Like
or church.
it's a... Yeah,
or
it's
chapel. Tent chapel.
Yeah.
Tent chapel.
If they had like a clean, nice looking, professional looking place, and they just had like a crazy tunnel underneath.
And then they have a secret
cave. Yeah.
So after the really long Jamie Lee Curtis scene...
The thing that happens next happens so abruptly and so confusingly that we all thought we missed something.
You guys thought you missed something.
Keegan, master of plot, was absorbing every granite of information.
So they bring in the brother. The brother's like, oh, we're gonna exorcise him, and everyone's like, oh, no, everyone's yelling.
He has like scars on him.
He has scars. Out of nowhere, the sister gets up and shoots her brother in the face. And all of us were like...
They're like, you have to atone for him, and then points at her, and she's like, this is what you want, and then they give her a gun and she blows him away. It happens really fast, like you're saying.
Yeah, it happens really fast. We thought we missed something. We did
went
not.
Back, we didn't.
She is part of the
cult.
cult.
No, because then she flat out says in a recording, I'm part of the cult.
Yeah.
And then immediately I was like, they were going anyways. Why would she need to trick them?
What was the point? You said it while we were watching it. Like, what was the point of this plot
twist? What is the point of besides the filmmakers being like, dude, they're not going to expect this. They're not, dude.
You can't deny we got them.
They're not gonna know that that's gonna happen.
You know what I got?
Why?
DoorDash Red Lobster cheddar biscuits on the way right now.
Dude, yes.
Yes.
Well, and the thing is, in the earlier shorts, there's a comedic tone to them.
Yes.
And
in the beginning of this short film, it's comedic too. The SRO, like
an offbeat comedic, which kind of gives a good tone for that short. Like, at the start, at least, you're kind of like, oh, it's like kind of creepy, but this is kind of goofy.
So I was desperately hoping that the girl, the sister they brought with them, was possessed by a demon, and the cult could drive out demon. And the sister was there to get revenge for her demon friends.
Keegan had a good pitch for that. Yeah.
And then the pitch is the podcast was like, oh god, this is a demon. Demons are real, and the cult was right.
The cult is right. I have brought a demon to the only people on Earth that can fight demons.
Yeah,
they're the good
and the
guys.
reason they have guns is because they have to constantly fight demons.
That is a good pitch, guys. You can't have that one. That's ours.
That's ours. No, that's
trademark. Copyright. Uncle
Demon Revenge LLC is ours.
You do it on camera. You say
Demon Revenge LLC.
That's us.
But yeah, there's that horrible twist. It just literally. Narratively explain to me why is that twist,
and then they go into a cave and the brother is a demon man and
he's like, I'm a demon man, and he walks like a crab. Like
the second biggest issue I have is none of the shorts are connected to each other.
Besides
the second biggest, I don't mind the same actors. That works with the general
I'm
premise.
saying besides the same actors, there's no connection.
I wanted a through line for all, like, why do these things connect?
So
in a big
every time they cut back to the framing device, it's just like, what? Yeah. That's us. Every time. It's just like, but what? We're not gaining any new information, like any mystery is being solved here. Nothing like that's happening.
So at the beginning, they introduce it, there's like a Mr. Magpie, and he's some evil spirit or demon, and I figured he was going to take a more central role. He only appears in the psychologist one, where he was possessing the patient, and He can talk to dead people. He can see people who are in hell, question mark.
And then also,
or at least he
question mark,
says
he
can do
appears on the TV.
He appears in the
possess them,
TV to hypnotize them.
which that's not even totally clear either.
But he's not in any of the other shorts.
He's not there at the end.
If there's a rhyme, like Freddy Krueger has a rhyme, right? If there's a rhyme going on with Mr. Magpie, or like he has a symbol, and the symbol's appearing in the shorts, and it's like, oh, the
or
cult
phrase repeated over.
Yeah,
and over
or
again.
his
Like, who is
some
Mr.
catchphrase. Mr. Magpie, coming for you, Mr. Magpie.
Something.
You know.
But it's just
gonna get
it's
They
just
were
in,
being possessed in that last one.
But yeah, so and then they get
it's
sucked
not
into the TV.
connected.
You could cut to our live reactions of that because, wow.
Oh, did she get sucked into the TV?
No, that would be too dumb.
that.
She did. Just now get sucked into the TV, and this was the payoff, dude.
No, you're wrong.
She's now part of the Conjuring tapes,
You're wrong.
dude.
No.
She's in the TV, dude.
No.
That sound effect means you get sucked into a TV.
That is what that sound effect means.
Thank you, Kevin, right? That is what that sound effect means.
They-
Now they're the tape.
No, they're the yeah, she got sucked into the TV, dude. No, that couch got sucked into the
I
TV.
did not believe that that's what happened.
That's a sucked into the TV
So
noise.
they have all this mystery with this framing device. It's a decently interesting framing device, and then ultimately they just go, I can't think of a good ending for that. How about they just get sucked into the freaking TV, and then that's what.
And then they're
whole thing
in
was.
there now. Well, see,
I'm sure the implication is that their roommate also got sucked into the TV.
She was in there with them. However,
there with
you are
them,
not going to remember that is the roommate from the beginning who
it's
shot
been
herself in the
so
head
long.
because she is in one shot.
Yeah.
She is in one shot, and you haven't seen her again since.
Yeah, so I wanted.
It's been an hour since you've seen her.
I really wanted a through line for all of these. Like with the Christmas tapes, I think that they actually did this better because by the end of it, you're like, okay, Greg Sestero has forced his family to watch these tapes that he's accumulated, and you're kind of under the impression that he's also maybe manipulated each of these situations in some way.
If you think about it for a long time,
That's not even thinking about it for a long time. It's just
if you give them
it's putting
so
context.
much of the benefit of the doubt.
No,
because there is no connection with him.
You fuck you.
He's
The
not
Christmas
in
tapes
any
is
of
the
them.
best film.
He's not in any
The
of them.
Christmas tapes is awesome.
Okay, but regardless, he has these tapes. There's a connection.
There
in
are
that.
connections to it, and he has the thing at the end. Like that is a thing.
He
where it's
finds
the connection between Snowpiercer and Oppenheimer. Kevin owns both of them.
No,
That's basically what
no,
you're saying.
He finds spooky videos and then he researches them.
That is not in the movie. Is what I'm saying. Like
that's how he got. That's how he got his stuff.
With ideas for the movie to have happened that way, but that's not in the movie.
It is
in the movie. He just has them.
God, why are you such a hater?
Watch it again.
I'd love
give
to.
me evidence.
I'd love
give
to.
me
I would
any
love
evidence
to.
that he has accumulated these tapes and has some sort of connection.
He has them in his box.
That's all he has. He has them in his
Oh,
box.
wait, so what more evidence do you need to accumulate something?
That he has any connection to them besides that he has them.
If you have a collection of batteries, can I say that you collect batteries? Is that a fair statement?
That is not what you were. That's not the statement you were saying.
I'm
The
saying
statement is that
he has a collection of tapes. He has a collection of tapes, so clearly he collects the tapes.
You said he has a
He
connection to the
accumulates them
events in there.
somehow. He has to get them from somewhere.
So he has a connection to the manufacturing of these batteries? Is that what you're saying? That because he owns
No.
batteries that he made them?
No, if he has smoke alarm batteries, you figure that he's going and finding smoke alarms.
What?
Like if he has specifically batteries from like a specific type of battery, you're like,
And I'm using context clues from the previous film that he was in, where he caused that situation to happen. We've seen that he orchestrates paranormal situations.
Also, he lived in a paranormal school. He's not
If you
orchestrating.
believe that story,
With the
I don't
context-
believe that story.
With the context of infrared.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I just said.
anyways,
With the context
continuing
of-
on.
Okay, so I had something about the movie to say. These two gals, they watch these shorts, and and in the first several, they're both in it. You're like, okay, they're a character, and then one of the gals is a character in the psychiatrist one, and then the other girl is a character in the other one. So then they suddenly split up, and they're not both in both. It's one's in one and one's in the other, and the whole time because they kept getting longer and longer, and more of my time has been spent. Sorry, wasted. What's the point of this? What is the purpose of this?
Time. My theory is that we're going back in time with the tapes. So like the psychiatrist one maybe is how Samantha got possessed is by talking to the guy who had Mr. Magpie in her, and then the first one or the last one is
They're
how
out of order canonically.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're going
But
backwards
they have different
in time.
names though in the shorts.
So
Okay, email us.
Explain
we
that
want
you're-
the explicit
Honestly,
answers
I'm
to
also-
these
I
questions.
want a goddamn explanation.
I genuinely feel like my brain is mush right now.
Want to know how I would structure it? I got a wild one. So the first couple, they're mostly normal, and then the girls appear as background characters. Like, and then the next one, they're like supporting characters, and then they're main characters. And now at the end, they have been. These are not like things that happened in the past. These are events that are sucking them into it, which is why they get sucked into the TV at the end.
Yeah.
Mr. Magpie lives in a cursed fucking video camera or whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't care.
Cursed video camera.
Whatever.
Whatever.
That would justify them watching the whole first short without them like freaking out until they saw themselves once.
And since they're
It's just
background
kinda
character, they're like,
oh wait, what the heck? That's me.
that looks a lot like you. That can't be me. I've never been here.
Yeah.
Because it's set in San Francisco, and they've never been to San Francisco.
Or if they're like, what if they were like fast forwarding and rewinding through the tapes? Like what if they were looking for
Oh my
something
God.
specific, and so like they get bored halfway through one. It's like, okay, this is
That would be really funny if it hits to a boring part and they just start fast forwarding
yeah,
to an
like,
entertaining part.
like
Alright,
because
so
they're watching it. Like
You
I feel
can
like
re-edit for free. You can use that one for free.
that's a free one right there.
All right, so the gain is right here. Okay, you can see on the.
Unfortunately, they can't fast forward then because they're being possessed at that point. They're going. They get sucked into the TV. Did we discuss that?
We did.
Did we?
They get sucked into the TV. I made the sound effect like 100 times.
So what you could then do, sorry, I'm gonna finish my one.
Finish
so
it,
after the third one is they have to hypnotize something again, and then the fourth one they're the main characters and they die in it, and then it cuts back and they're not in the room anymore. And it's like, oh, they were sucked into the TV by Mr. Magpie. Anyway, sorry, continue.
So do we have any final thoughts for this goddamn movie? Have we said everything we wanted to say?
Yeah, I'll say a couple more things.
I'll say a couple
So starting from the beginning, anything that you feel like might be good or is being done well or might go somewhere cool is never ultimately paid off in a cool or done way at all.
Why are they making movies?
It's like, why are these connected? They're not really.
Why is this girl
what's
holding
the,
a shotgun?
Yeah, what's the intrigue here with the framing device? Oh, ultimately there's nothing there. They just get stuck in the
Why
TV.
does it matter that she's a therapist with an ex-husband?
Yeah. Oh, it doesn't matter. She's
doesn't
going to
matter.
eat him at the end. You know. Oh, I guess he's just going to get blown away with a shotgun at the end. This funny guy that has the GoPro. What?
Yeah.
Like whatever. Like why did she trick them and follow along with people that were already going to go to that cult anyway and be like, oh, I tricked you, even though you're going to go there anyway. The editing is annoying because of the jump cuts.
Yeah.
And a lot of the pacing is also probably because of the editing. They left too much in. They had big scenes of what feels like scenes that aren't written really, that are mostly just the actors riffing and kind of like going over what the scene, like the scene with Discount
Jamie Lee
Curtis.
Yeah.
Feels like she's just improvised. She's just riffing, and then they were kind of like, "What do we cut?"
Or she had one speech and they just let her riff different versions of it, and they just put all of them in the film.
Yeah.
The Tommy Wiseau School of Directing.
Just keep them all in there.
Just keep it all.
One thing I would say is I think if they edited it down to like a better level.
It's already an hour and like 25 minutes.
No, but
this is
agree
where
with
I'm going
Keegan.
next.
I think there's enough good stuff in the movie that if you cut out the bad stuff
to make
I think you can make those shorts
40-minute film.
I think if you cut down a lot of those shorts, they'd be dramatically better, and then you would have room
And then
for
beef
a
up the
fifth.
framing device.
Yeah, and beef up the framing, and then have room for a fifth short.
Or just have a better
tie it together.
Framing device that
neater
that takes more center stage.
Yeah, you could make a bigger framing device with more dialogue between the films, or add in a fifth short.
Yeah, and we didn't talk about the acting at all in this video, but the acting's also not very good. Almost no one gives a very good performance, and that hurts it a lot. Like
with a couple of exceptions. And
there's some like
GoPro Jesus was funny.
GoPro Jesus.
He's funny, but a lot of the time, no one's really believable. It's not that they're like, "Oh, you suck." It's like embarrassing to watch you. It's just kind of like, I don't believe this. It doesn't.
Believable is a good word.
Especially with a found footage movie. Like the reason Blair Witch I think is so successful is that the actors are really, really organic, and you can. It feels like real people.
Yeah.
You know, these clearly just feel like people.
It
on a
feels
set.
like when I made this comparison earlier because we were talking about Joel Haver's movies feeling like when you have friends at high school and you're just like your mom's not going to be home for 3 hours. You're like, bro, what can we do, dude? What if we made a movie about this and then you film it and it's like it takes place on your couch? Like that's what the whole movie feels like, where it kind of just feels like friends having fun in some scenes and then
but not in a fun way. Sometimes you watch that and it's like, this is fun, but this is more like you're supposed to be buying into this world and you're not buying into it because of that aspect.
Yeah, and it seems like everyone's having a good time for the most part, but that comes at the like believability is sacrificed at that altar.
The final nail in the coffin, I already hated the movie, but I was like, well, I really want to know what this framing device is all about. Like, what is this really going towards? Like, because there is a lot of confusing but mysterious stuff going on with that, and the characters kind of trying to figure out like what's going on with their dead friend and all that.
Yeah.
And then they just get sucked into the TV, and it's like, wow, cool. So nothing? You guys didn't want to write an ending? Sucks. Proud of you.
Sucks. Yeah, proud of you. Thank you guys for watching. Rob, Randy, I hope you guys got what you were hoping for out of this.
Make more stuff.
Make more stuff.
Oh yeah, obviously make more stuff. Stop doing found footage.
Yeah, we'll go watch Insidious tapes or whatever it is you want to do.
Now
next.
that we're Uncle Mickey's ride or die for you guys, I got a proposition. You guys, you make these found footage horror anthologies. You don't have to make all the short films.
Not all of them.
If you know you're making another one, call us up. We'll make a short film for your horror anthology.
We'll do it.
We'll do it for free. Sam Slade will do it for free.
For money.
Sam Slade will do it. He will be there. This is open. This is real, by the way. I
will do what?
You will make a horror found footage film.
I will make a horror. I will do it.
You are going to do it. Yes, Uncle Mickey will make you.
We already did one.
Sam Slade will be the lead in a found footage horror.
Why would I be the lead? That's not even what I do on set.
No one's saying.
I'm not going to be.
I didn't.
No one fucking said that.
Kevin's the lead.
Kevin's the lead.
Do not talk out of turn.
Yeah, don't listen.
Kevin or
No, I
actually
want to see Sam Slade be the person behind the camera doing most of the dialogue in a found footage horror movie.
No, we're not doing that.
That is going to happen though. We are going to release that.
That does happen.
That does happen.
But yeah, offers open. You
want some good actors in your movie finally?
We'll do whatever
Kevin,
it
Nicole,
takes.
Cody, they're all.
We're gonna bring
all
your
ours.
vision to life.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this 2-hour-long review that was supposed to be 30 minutes.
Yeah, if you're watching this and you like found footage movies, go eat ass. Don't comment below.